Chapter 54. Part 2. It's okay, you don't have to share if you don't wish to. I understand that scenes are private with your partner. I like to keep my scenes just between me and my sub, he says when he leads me to a room where a steel chair sits in the center of the room, and then I notice steel cuffs on the armrests, as well as the front legs have restraints. That's called a bondage chair, he whispers to me when he crosses his arms. I turn my attention back to the chair where I notice a man places a woman on it and straps her wrists into the steel cuffs and then cuffs her ankles to the chair legs. The woman is not all the way naked, she has red panties, and the only thing that is showing is her breasts. He admires her for a second before he opens her mouth and spits into it. Ugh, I don't know if I could have someone spit their saliva into my mouth. Do you know what you're supposed to do for me? The man mutters against the girl's skin. Yes, sir. I'm not supposed to come unless you tell me to. Good girl, he says as he slaps her face and then grabs a whip. The whip suddenly strikes her breasts and she cries as if she's in pain or she finds it pleasurable. I don't know which one, but I want to close my eyes and stop staring, however, I can't seem to turn my head away from this scene. Focus and control it, the man says calmly. Accept what your master is giving you and enjoy it. The next stroke hits her nipple and she screams again, pulling on the restraints. The whip continues to caress her over and over again and each time she moans as though she's enjoying it. Watching him flick the whip in perfect precision was causing me to keep my eyes focused, and not only that, but it stirs a powerful tingle between my legs. What the fuck? How does my body think this is arousing watching this? But my mind has actually thought about where Chris is doing that to me, and that's what's causing me to close my legs tightly together. The whip again strikes her and then flicks down in a snapping motion on her breasts. I watch as she clenches her hands into fists, determining to control it. Now, the man says, his voice powerful. You may come for your master. Give me your submission. He went fast and harder with the whip against her breasts. She closed her eyes and let out an ear-piercing cry as she came for him like she was told to do so. Some women can come with breast torture. Katie is one of them. Elijah suddenly says, which causes me to turn my attention back to him. Was that scene too much for you to handle? It was. Intense, I tell him the truth. I didn't know BDSM could be that aggressive, but at the same time, it awakened something deep inside me that I didn't know was possible, especially after seeing what I just saw. He smiles. If you don't mind me asking, which would you rather be after watching that scene? Deep down, are you a dominant that likes to take control or a submissive that lets go and lets her dom do things to her she didn't think possible? He questions as we start walking past some rooms. I shrug, I actually don't know. The idea of someone else taking the lead and controlling things in the bedroom sounds appealing, yet the idea of me taking charge is also something that interests me. But I don't know for sure unless I try both ways. I think I might have to get back to you on that. I don't want to lie to him and I don't know if I fully feel comfortable telling a stranger my likes and dislikes. What is in those rooms? I ask to mainly change the subject. He turns his face to the doors I am pointing at. Oh, I don't know if you want to go in there. You said this scene was intense for you, but I believe those rooms are even more overwhelming than the one you just saw. It involves knife play where a blade is dragged along the skin, either in a cutting motion or in a scraping motion. My face went pale. The idea of someone using a knife to cut someone else is very unappealing, as well as the sight of anyone's blood is enough to make me faint. Yeah, let's keep walking, I say as my legs start moving before I can stop them. What kinks interest you? He asks as we continue to walk together. I shrug. I saw online about pet play. I have never done anything like that, but it looked interesting. We have a room where one of our female dominants is in a scene with our male sub doing pet play right now. Want to see it since you're here? I flush and say in a low voice, all right. I didn't think he would actually show me and just talk about it, but it doesn't hurt to see it visually. Does it? He takes me down the hall to a room where I notice blankets on the floor, along with toys, and then a small cage in the center. My eyes shift to a man on his hands and knees. He's crawling as a woman is pulling him on a leash. I look at the woman who is wearing a black and white corset with a tight black leather skirt that goes above her knees. I notice she has red hair, however, I can't see her face yet until she lifts her head up to look at me and I find myself locked in a green gaze. Loren. I ask out loud.